Prepare to get gas because it's time for the Week in Gear. We have something new to the show this week. May I introduce the Gasometer, which will have every piece of gear run through it just to see exactly how desirable it is. We're still ironing out some kinks here at Guitar Geek HQ, but I thought it'd be fun to add this week, and join in at home if you have an opinion. Comment section down there. So, grab a cuppa, warm up those comment typing fingers and thumbs, and let's do it. This episode is sponsored by Pedal Train. More about that in a bit. All right, first up, this is not a Dumble, except it sort of is, but it isn't. At least it isn't until you build it. Hot on the tails of the Not a Clon, Josh Scott gives us the new pedal kit to build the G.A.S. Not-A-Dumble? I have no idea. Not-A-Dumble. It is a solderless DIY pedal kit that aims to give a Dumble-esque clean and overdrive circuit in a tiny little box, and you build it yourself. No soldering, no burnt fingers, and no electrical fires. Probably. Can't be held responsible for that. It comes in a very IKEA-esque box with all the components and a very IKEA-ish manual, and even a little black tube of goop, so you can pretend that you're hiding trade secrets like the real Dumbles. Love it. The clean side is based on a John Mayer preamp style circuit, bright, clear, always on sort of, sparkle territory. The overdrive side is more violin-y, more saturated, chewy mids. You get it. On the drive side, you get an EQ knob, which is a low pass filter, and a drive knob that goes from mild to Swedish meatball. That's not what JHS said, that's me putting that in there. And there's also an internal presence trimmer for a little bit of extra tweakery. Is it a toy? No. Is it fun? Yes. Is it toneful? Maybe. I haven't played one. At just over 100 notes, I would not consider this just a pedal, but also the experience of building something yourself with a sprinkle of clever marketing. Kind of like a movie franchise Lego tie-in when you get to build and then play with, or an IKEA bed, so that you get to build and then play with, sleep in. I like the idea of this Not-A-Dumble, but I have two problems with it. Number one, everyone and their mothers seem to know what a Dumble sounds like, even though very few have played one, myself included. Number two, I didn't think of this idea first. Although I don't have the infrastructure designed to... Forget it. Well done, JHS. Naturally, they sold out the moment they went live. Again, clever marketing. But JHS are making more available in a few days. Unless you're watching this in the distant future. In which case, I hope you stopped buying gear and started stockpiling food and water for the fight against the lizard invasion. Even more importantly, the Not-A-Dumble has the honor of being the first ever piece of gear to go into the Gasometer. Let's see where it scores. Yes, a very respectable wish list edition. I'm not frothing at the mouth to get my hands on it, but I would be happy to receive it as a present, which would most likely be from myself. Up next is Brad Paisley's Lost Paisley TELE. Fender and Brad Paisley have teamed up yet again, and this time they've gone deep into the vaults. The result? The limited edition 1967 Lost Paisley Telecaster. Back in the late 60s, Fender experimented with some pretty wild finishes, including a blue Paisley that was as short-lived as it was eye-catching, and many of those guitars did not survive the decades, but Brad Paisley stumbled upon some original blue Paisley cling foil and decided to bring the whole thing back to life. With help from the Fender Custom Shop, they've recreated this finish on a Telecaster that pays homage to the original while adding some modern twists. Underneath that psychedelic exterior, you've got a lightweight body made from alder with paulownia wings and a spruce top and back. Very nice to see Fender doing something like that. The neck is a 60s oval C shape with a 7 1/4 inch radius maple fingerboard and 21 narrow tall frets. As for pickups, they've gone with a set of Seymour Duncan Custom Shop hand-wound Lost Paisley Telecaster pickups. So naturally, I have no idea what they are, but if this is what we're hearing in the official release video, they sound like a TELE. Oh, and for those who like to bend notes like Brad, there's a Glaser G bender system built right in, which is like a B bender, but for Gs. Sadly, only 67 of these guitars are being made by the Fender Custom Shop, with an additional 19 either being built by Brad himself or just being made available by Brad himself. So 1967. See? Get it. But here comes the kicker. The standards are priced around 7,000 notes, so they're definitely not for the faint of heart or faint of wallet. For the disappointed but relatively wealthy, the black Paisley TELE that's just under 2,000 notes is a potential itch scratcher, and for everyone else, maybe get a Squire Affinity and some felt tip pens. I think this is obviously, well not obviously, but I think this is going to be a great guitar, but at that price point it blurs the instrument and art piece. Which one is it? Or just an investment? So, as I feed it into the gasometer, you will see that it gets firmly stuck on borrow it, if you have rich friends. Let's take a break from all this new gear to talk for a moment about this episode's sponsor, Pedal Train. Pedal Train are the legends behind some of the most widely used and popular pedal boards in the world. You've probably owned one, or maybe even two. You've definitely seen them under the feet of some very respected artists. But here's the real gem, pedalboardplanner.com. This is their free online tool that allows you to drag and drop real pedals onto real boards without having to break out the tape measure. This is going to be perfect. Yes. There's room for one more. I used this recently to help my friend plan his new pedal board and take his homemade Behemoth down from around 24 kilos to around 11, making it much easier to manage. And the fun thing is, you don't even need to own the pedals to actually play with them. So you can type anything in, find a fuzz, for example, this one, and add it to your board. There it is. Oh, I've got to move some DS1s around to get it in. If you'd like to have a go yourself, check out pedalboardplanner.com. The link is in the video description. Now, on with the show. Now, if fuzz pedals had personalities, this one is rocking a kimono, brandishing a katana, and screaming through a wall of marshals. The Hanami is the latest... Hanami. Uh-oh. The Hanami is the latest offering from ThorpyFX. It's a fuzz, but not your usual tone bender clone like the Boneyard, or it's not a Big Muff tribute like the Fallout Cloud. It is inspired by both those circuits, and it's kind of somewhere in between the two. Think vintage aggression with a bit of restraint, like a fuzz that's been to elocution lessons, or a dragon in a straitjacket. Inside the pedal, not the dragon, you've got 4 hand-picked NOS germanium transistors and a germanium diode, which should give it that classic woolly character, but with tighter control. Speaking of controls, they are simple. You've got level, boost, treble, and bass. The Hanami has got a transformer isolated input, so it actually plays nice with buffers, which is rare for germanium fuzz, and the top-mounted jacks keep your board tidy and boutique. Also, or not also, but not most importantly, very high up there in terms of importance, the cherry blossom art is lovely, and it somehow makes it feel fancier whilst still melting your amp and your face. The naming and the flowery design is an interesting step for Thorpy, and I spoke with him recently at the guitar show in Solihull in the UK, and he mentioned that he's moving away from the military-inspired designs and names, which I think is a sensible move. And I've got to be careful here. The Week in Gear is far from political, but with all that's going on with conflicts around the world and people being generally a little bit angry, adding some flowers to a fuzz pedal sounds like a good idea, or at least a step in the right direction. The Hanami is just over 300 notes, and as it's Thorpy, you know it's going to be built well. If you're into germanium fuzz, but you can't guarantee a place for it at the start of your signal chain, this could be one to look at. However, at that price, the gasometer arrives at add it to the cart, so you can see where you are at the end of the month. and adjust the finances accordingly. Let me know what you think in the comments section, and, oh, yeah, click subscribe if you haven't already. Many of you aren't subscribed to the channel, yet you come back every week. Thank you all. Okay, a Wolfgang without a Floyd. Yes, please. This is the EVH Wolfgang Special TOM, a version of the classic Wolfgang that ditches the Floyd Rose trem for a fixed tailpiece with fine tuners. And that means no locking nut, no Allen wrenches, no dive bombs, no 80s hairspray, just solid tuning stability and hopefully straight up tone. Now, if this feels familiar, it's because I raved about the standard TOM EVH Wolfgang not too long ago, and for good reason, and it was my pick of the week. That guitar punched way above its weight, and it was my pick of the week because it was brilliant and priced well, and I stand by that being pick of the week because it was very desirable, especially considering the price. This special version takes that same no-nonsense setup and adds a more pro-tier feature list, which makes it even more of a contender. In the special, you're getting a basswood body with an arched top, a quarter-sawn roasted maple neck and fingerboard, 22 jumbo frets, and signature EVH Alnico 2 pickups mounted straight into the body. The result? Cover it in ox blood finish and gold hardware, and my gas is through the roof. Right. Calm yourself, Andrew. The volume knob has a treble bleed circuit, so it should stay clear when you roll it back, and the tone pot has a high friction design, so it doesn't accidentally move mid-solo, although if you are soloing, I don't know what you're doing down there by the tone knob. It comes in gloss black, ox blood, and husk white, and it's priced around 1,300 notes. So, if you liked the standard version, but for some reason want to spend a bit more money and want something a bit more dialed in, this might be the sweet spot. Pro level without needing a degree in Floyd Roseology. That's not a thing, I think. Now, let's take a look at the gasometer, and yes, it is blasting into my wallet being on fire, but only for the ox blood and gold finish. I am going to play one of these, and I am going to have a serious word with myself about why it wasn't my pick of the week this week. It got so close, but instead I've gone for something a little bit more sensible. Andy's pick of the week. My pick of the week is the KMA Audio Machines Geminus. This is a double tracker in a box. Oh, what? Don't worry, I got you. The Geminus is a pedal designed to recreate the classic double-track guitar sound. If you don't know the technique, here it is. You record the same part twice. You pan one left, and then you pan the second one right, and you get that big, wide sound. Except now you can do it live, without overdubs. No faff, just stereo magic. And when I say magic, I mean
artificial intelligence.
It's got 3 knobs, width, time, and level, plus 2 switches for pitch and mode, and they interact in really clever ways. Add a tiny bit of pitch and a bit of a timing variation, and it sounds like 2 guitars, playing slightly out of sync. Crank it, and you can go full lo-fi, almost chorusy, woozy weirdness, but it never fully crosses into obvious modulation territory. It's subtle, and it's smart. Now, here's the part that really grabbed me. It is AI assisted. Uh-oh. Now, don't panic. You don't need your phone or some sort of digital controller to appease the robot gods. It's all done within the pedal, and there's not even a screen on it. Whew. The Geminus uses an adaptive algorithm, which KMA calls its True Double Tracker Technology, TDT, True Double Tracker Technology, to create real-time doubled signals that behave more like a human player than a delay pedal, for example. It doesn't just shift and copy your signal, it subtly adapts to the dynamics of your playing style to keep that second guitarist feeling organic, not robotic. It's all done inside the DSP using phase-aligned stereo image simulation. So it shouldn't smear your tone or feel synthetic. Now, what I love about this is in the demos I heard, it doesn't sound like an effect. it sounds like two guitarists playing the same riff with those tiny human differences, which is exactly what double tracking should feel like. And I've got the Keeley 30 milliseconds, and I love it. So I'd love to put them up head to head. This one works mono to mono, mono to stereo, stereo to stereo, and that's it. Yeah. Top mounted jacks. Ooh, boutique, get in. True bypass, fully digital brain in an analog friendly box, and it is 229 euros, which I think is fair. It's not the cheapest utility pedal, but calling this just a utility would be very unfair. If you run a stereo live rig, then I think this is a must-have. If you are recording stuff in the studio and want to save time for a smoother workflow, this is a must-buy. So, actually, I'm sure there are other reasons to buy this pedal, but they escape me. Maybe run one signal through an octave down and then put that into a bass amp. Yeah, anyway, that's all the main things I can think of. It's my pick of the week because it's something that makes absolute sense to the people that it makes absolute sense to. And it's at a very fair price for something that will at least save time. It's not just good, it's clever. And that's why the Geminus is my pick of the week, because it's a sensible choice. However, if we put it through the gasometer, it doesn't quite set my wallet on fire, which is fine. I still want it, but it means I can disguise it as an intelligent business decision. Thank you to the wonderful people who support the show on Patreon. Their names are up on screen now. Hello, everybody! And these people support the show right here on YouTube. Hello to you as well. Thank you so very, very much. If you want your name up in digital lights, then click the join button right here on YouTube or visit my Patreon link in the video description. Thank you very much. And here is a special thanks to the top tier members. Alinta, Buddha Blue, Boom, Shack, Aloka, I think, Buzzle, Dirk, Doug Paget, Hugh G. Rection, Yindrix Trelka, Johnny McBadminton, Mike Lute. This prank is officially sponsored by Jason Welch, Andrew Morgan, Gary O'Neill, Josh Tamberg, Man, Dude, Bro, PQ Deads, Robin Kelly, Sarang Narayan, and Southern Panda 33. Thank you, top tier members. I appreciate you. Do you have thoughts on this week's gear? Did I get it right? Did I get it wrong? Let me know in the comments section. And click that subscribe button, and I'm 99% sure that something good will happen to you today. Bye!